with this, learn a new trade. It's an opportunity for people to also pick up an online course or something that they can do while they sit at home. And it's also an opportunity for us to learn that the way we lived and the way we did things up until now cannot continue. We cannot continue in that light. It's too dangerous. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I don't know what to say. I can't speak on behalf of the government, but and I do share, I do understand what he's going through. So let's take a couple of WhatsApp messages and then move on. All right. Absolutely wonderful. Wonderful. So, guys, what's happening? How are you all doing? Let me mute the mic. Um, we're still live on the radio. So we're going in live today and we're going in hard. Nigeria info. This is live and dangerous with Daddy Freeze. Welcome back, Daddy Freeze. Thank you very much, Ada. How are you and how are all our listeners? How are you all doing? It is 99.3 Nigeria info. So right now we're still talking about this Madagascar cure and the fact that NAFDAC has not approved it. So ain't nobody going to take it until it has been approved. Anybody. I grew up in the hood, and I remember people who park their cars and open the trunk and be selling you all sorts of remedies for all sorts of stuff. I don't know if you've experienced that in the local markets and in ghettos, Ada. Experience what exactly? Somebody parking their car with a megaphone and telling you that they have cures for this and cures for skin diseases and you understand? One drug for like 200 ailments. Yes. Yes. There was one that I used to hear in Ibadan, then they said, Awogbarun. Igbarun is 200 diseases. I said, there's one drug that can cure 200 diseases. You understand what I'm saying? Now, we need to be very careful with anything we touch or handle, especially during a time of fear. We know that we are not particularly great thinkers. We follow everything hook, line, and sinker. It's us. We've always been like that. Take a look at religion, for instance. I said this yesterday and I'm saying it again. It's not hypocritical that you take the white man's version of Christianity. Meanwhile, Christianity came to Africa first before it went to Europe. Christianity came to Africa as early as the book of Acts, chapter 8, when the Ethiopian eunuch returned from Jerusalem, met Philip on the way, was instructed in the scriptures. The gospel was preached to him, and he was baptized as a Christian. As of that time, and the scriptures tell us that he was reading the book of Isaiah aloud. An African was reading the scriptures aloud inside Bible. Where was England and America at that time? They were mostly filled with barbarians and and the like. The English language had not even evolved. So we are taking, instead of us using the Ethiopian Bible, this is where my issue with us is. We want to be Pan-Africanists. Good. Why are we taking King James Bible instead of the Ethiopian Bible? The Ethiopian Bible is, as far as I'm concerned, more accurate, far more accurate than the King James Bible. The King James Bible is heretical. And not only, let's even leave the whole King James wrote this that wasn't there. And King James sold our ancestors as slaves. King James had a river named after him because that was the path through which the African slaves passed. And the river was called River James. And then they ended up in a town called Jamestown, named once again after King James. That was where the slaves would land. He gave a patent to a company that, as of 1668, was making a quarter of their profits from slave trade. Who were they selling? My father and your father. Then all of a sudden, King James gives you a book through which Bill Gates is now determined as the Antichrist, and you are not seeing the hypocrisy inside it. So these are issues we need to deal with. We're not dealing with these issues. Instead, we're being very sentimental. We're touting Madagascar as a cure. Madagascar does not have the best records with regards to COVID-19. Yesterday, I talked about Faroe Islands. I don't know if you remember, Ada. Yeah. And I also talked about Vietnam. Today, I want to talk about Cambodia. Let us deal with this. So, let us talk about... Sorry, you are saying something, my darling. Before we get into another topic, I think we should take some comments or reactions. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Before we get into another. Absolutely. Okay. Someone is asking, what happened to all the sick people we had before COVID-19? We used to have people suffering from cancer, people suffering from malaria, high blood pressure, diabetes, and all that. What happened to all of these? That makes, because the whole day is COVID-19. This is what is plaguing the world right now. Everything else is a back burner. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Everything else is moved to the back. Yeah. What we have in the forefront is COVID-19. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about Cambodia, because I know people are going to react to this. Now, before I tell you about Cambodia, let's talk again about Madagascar. So, Madagascar here has 212 confirmed cases. Are you listening, my darling sister? Yes, please. Out of which 107 have recovered. And so far, no deaths. As of this evening. Now, 107 times 2 is 214. So out of 212 cases, only about half have recovered in Madagascar. And there is still a +6, meaning the numbers are still going up slightly, but are still going up. Meanwhile, if we examine a country like Cambodia, Cambodia has 122 confirmed cases with no increase, no new cases, out of which 121 have recovered, meaning there's only one person currently being treated in Cambodia, and they also have had no COVID-19 related deaths. This by far is a case superior. This particular case, the Cambodian case, is superior to the Madagascar case. If we examine Vietnam, Vietnam has confirmed 288 COVID-19 cases, out of which 52 have recovered, leaving only 36 people who are currently undergoing treatment. And also, nobody has died. Now, we also have Faroe Islands. Faroe Islands has a total of 187 confirmed cases, just like Cambodia and just like Vietnam. No new cases are recorded. And out of the 187 confirmed cases, 187 have recovered and no deaths. This is 100% recovery situation. If we were being logical, if we were not being hypocritical and sentimental, if we were not being prejudiced and biased, we should be asking what Faroe Island did right that they had 100% recovery. Madagascar does not have 50% recovery or barely has 50% recovery. And all of a sudden, they now have a solution. Now, if Madagascar had repeatedly come through with regards to malaria, with regards to other ailments and other pandemics, then of course Madagascar will be the first place that we would be looking at. But Madagascar is not known for coming through with, what is it called? With solutions to medical crisis. So I'm wary. I'm not saying we should throw Madagascar out the door, especially since we don't have, what is it called? Since we don't have a vaccine. But I am more of, let us put this Madagascar drug to proper scrutiny. It shouldn't even be announced to the public that there's a Madagascar cure until we are sure, because it's unfair to raise the hopes of the people. And then, if we now find out that it's not working, we'll be left stranded. So, if we look at Aru Island with 100% recovery for COVID-19, we look at Cambodia with about 98.5% recovery. We're looking at Vietnam with about 75% recovery. But all of a sudden, we're now facing Madagascar that has barely 50% recovery. Just that Madagascar has about 50 point something percent recovery. Why are we, if we're rejecting the vaccines and we're rejecting everything else from Europe, which I think it's rather silly of us, why are we not checking out Cambodia and Vietnam? Why are we not sending delegates there? Why are we not getting in touch with their research department? Why are we not asking questions? As I'm speaking to you, Imperial College is conducting its own investigations and research. Imperial College is a university in the UK. So these are questions we need to ask. You can't just come and say, let's try it. Let's try what? Who has approved what you want to try? Because you are used to just walking into a pharmacy and asking them to give you something for malaria, and the pharmacist just, or the drug peddler in the pharmaceutical shop, which half the time is a...
Please keep up the great work. Coming from Daniel. And this is coming from, hi, Dan Blocker. Dan is saying, just like Daddy Freeze rightly said, Africa has failed and they are blaming the Western world for their failure. It is the same Africa that said they arrived to govern themselves, hence asked for independence, and they were given independence by the West. Today, have they failed? Okay, today, have they failed envisioning all first arrived and they are blaming the West? Okay, trying to say today they have failed. Okay.
God bless you.
Bill Gates retired from being the co-founder of Microsoft and started his foundation with the ambition of giving back to the world what they have given him by the way of giving aid to countries that needs it before now. Africa has benefited hugely from this project, which some African leaders have diverted the funds to their own gain. They did not call those leaders antichrist. Rather, a man that has offered to sponsor some pharmaceutical companies to produce a vaccine that would help in calming this pandemic, determined that he wants to depopulate the world. What is his aim if he have that in mind, I ask? Is he going to live till eternity? I don't get it. His wife says she saw dead bodies in the streets of Africa and people started wagging their mouths. What is happening today in the northern part of Nigeria? God will continue to bless that man and the wife. Let the priest continue your good work and keep on preaching the truth and being factual. God will bless you too, Ada, and block out from our papa.
He did make he did make quite a lot of sense. And
Yeah. Hello? Okay, let me freeze another. The vaccine is the best. It's the best. Not all this. Let's just be
somebody
careful.
saying,
I'm very,
now
very
the only
careful with
top
this
where I get
information
be
I'm
this.
saying now. I just played your
If
phone.
you don't have what to say, can't you just keep quiet? I'm representing my brand. This is our church that has taken care of its members every single week throughout this pandemic. You don't want me to represent them, I should go and be wearing something else. Please, 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 please.
Manhood, enlargement drug, and manpower. I hope EU will submit his drug now. NAFDAC has asked anyone that have any drug they claim can cure COVID-19. Onyekachi from Iba.
Now, are you there, Ada?
Mm-hmm.
My mother is the vice chancellor of Afe Babalola University, and she wrote an article that was released today from the vice chancellor's desk, exploring ancestral wisdom to combat COVID-19. Now, it's quite lengthy, but I'll start what she proposed. It's no longer news that the ravaging COVID 19 has changed the educational, political, and economic, as well as the medical equations of the world. What would be the heartwarming news is that someone or some institution have at last found a cure for the pandemic that has rocked the world to its very foundations since February 2020. And the entire university is gingerly waiting for this to happen. However, this will not happen like a bolt from the blues. It will definitely be the result of some painstaking effort of one man, a combination of men, an institution, or a league of institutions. And this is where our universities come into play in these critical and challenging times when circumstances have forcibly restricted people of the world to their homes against their personal wishes and desires. Traditionally, the function of the universities all over the world are teaching, research, and imparting the community where they're located. While most universities score very high in teaching, it can be said without much fear of contradiction that it is only some of the universities in Europe, America, and Asia that have scored high in research and impartation on their immediate communities. About the fact that he is determined through his university to teach Nigerians how a university should be run and how it should not be run. Now, I want to jump to what he said. Okay. It was in pursuit of this that Afe Babalola University, a center of research and innovation, is poised to take the bull by the horns by proffering solutions to solve contemporary problems like COVID 19, once again through the exploration of the acclaimed Yoruba traditional wisdom. As a world class institution of higher learning, what is poised to deploy its world class human intelligence, world class facilities, and institutional support to explore the Yoruba traditional wisdom of using indigenous African herbs to combat the menace of COVID 19. Now, I just want to give you all, okay, then she also said, it's quite lengthy. I'm just breaking it down for you. It was at this
Okay.
stage that the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, the arrowhead of the Yoruba ancestral wisdom, came visiting the founder on the 30th of April with the same burning zeal and passion to join hands with Abuad to show the world what the solution to the raging COVID-19 may not be far-fetched after all, but could be indeed found on the African continent in Nigeria. The collaborative efforts of the ancestral wisdom and guided modern research pursuits may lead to the long-awaited solution of the age-long herbal use of our medicinal plants to solve societal, ravaging problems such as those caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. It's a long letter. I think I'm going to post it all on my social media handles so everybody can see it. This is what I expect of a Nigerian university. This is what we all should be working on. Somebody is saying Nigerians do not trust any vaccine from Bill Gates. Nigerians do not trust anybody except their pastors. And guess what? Who has led you down the road where you are now? Has religion not failed you? Ask yourself. Churches have been closed for 6 weeks. Same thing with mosques. Has anybody died? All of a sudden, your auntie in the village is no longer important. COVID-19 has taken her.
Okay. Yes, I can.
Okay, sorry, a bit of an internet slip. So I said, all of a sudden, your auntie in the village is no longer important. COVID-19 has taken her place. But think about it. 6 weeks, religious institutions have been closed and nobody died. Isn't this an opportunity for us to wake up and tell ourselves that we've been concentrating too much on religion in this part of the world? Right now, Afe Babalola University is trying to proffer a solution. I want to ask you, the time we spent praying, if we had been researching, we won't even need a cure from Madagascar. We'll have 3 cures, one from Anambra, one from Kano, and maybe one from Ondo or one from Ibadan. Big Nigeria. What's even the population of Madagascar? Let me even Google it. What population of Madagascar? What's the population of Madagascar? It's a shame if Madagascar, that is 26.26 million as of 2018, which is about the population of Lagos, is offering Nigeria, a country with 200 million people, it makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. We have 5 churches on every street. If we had 5 research institutions on every street, we probably would not be here. We will be on the front line in this COVID-19 battle. You are saying you don't want Bill Gates. What option do you have? Not be church they go pray. You can't fight Bill Gates now. You wake up one day and say you don't want Bill Gates. We have this institution. We have this institution. We have these drugs. We have these herbal. Let me tell you, the drug to the artemisinin she extracted, is found in a plant that can even grow here in Africa. But it took a Chinese woman to find the cure for your malaria. Because you know what? You're praying about malaria. I think we've prayed enough for the next 20 years. I think now it's time to work. And I always give people the example of the prophet Elijah. The entire prayer he said that brought God from the sky down was a 20-second prayer. Meanwhile, the prophets of Baal prayed from morning till night and nothing happened. So maybe, just maybe, we're actually not praying to God, we're praying to Baal and Mammon, because these are the gods we know and we understand. And like the devil always does, they have failed us. When Christ was asked, how do we pray? Our Father is a 40-second prayer. It's not up to 1 minute. Recite it wherever you are and time it with a stopwatch or with your, just look at the second hand of your watch and recite Our Father and see if it will enter 1 minute. We cannot put prayer in the equation meant for work. We cannot put prayer in the equation meant for research. We cannot put prayer or blessings in the equation meant for science or studying. Smallpox was eradicated through research, not through prayer. People prayed to smallpox as a god in Nigeria while the West was working on vaccines to eradicate it. We've got to wake up. Someone, at least this COVID-19, if there's nothing we're getting from COVID-19, at least we should get the fact that we're waking up and smelling the coffee for the first time and realizing that everything we have done is going to save us. Somebody said, but Daddy Freeze, prayers make people feel good. All right then. Why are you complaining that the government is not giving you money during COVID-19? Why are you complaining that the government is not giving you face mask? Pray and feel good at home now. Sit at home, pray and feel good. Don't come and say all this kind of comedy here. Somebody say prayers make you feel good. Be at home and be praying now and be feeling good. They told you not to walk. Sit at home, pray, feel good. Instead of that, you'll be there fighting. Wike will be demolishing hotel. Do you know, I heard that particular hotel, according to reports, Wike said the hotel was a hideout for hoodlums. You didn't hear that?
Really?
Oh,
No.
there was some. He said that they sent government officials there, and the government officials were beaten up by touts, according to reports. It's a long thing. I don't want to go into Wike again today. But why are you opening if you can sit at home and pray now? Is there no church beside your house? Sit at home and pray and feel good and stop complaining if prayer is what's going to save this. Bill Gates is not a praying man. Meanwhile, he's coming with a solution. The Madagascar solution, did it come from a church? Cambodia, Vietnam, Faroe Island, they are even more successful than Madagascar in the treatment of COVID-19. Did their treatment come from church? Wake up, Nigeria. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Let's take phone calls. And I'm sure we have some people on social media waiting to come on.
Mm-hmm. The phone number is 0908 743 0754.
0908
0908 743
0754. Those are our numbers. Please do call and let's discuss this.
Hello. Yes, good evening. Your name is? Okay, Victor, please can you be a little bit more audible? Alright. Victor, you really have to call us back, okay? Hello, good evening. Yes, good evening. What's your name? Please turn up your radio, please.
Hello, sir. Can you please repeat what he said, Ada, so I can respond to him?
What did you say? Hello? What did you say? Are you asking for the population of Faroe Island? Okay.
My dear brother, it's not about the population of Faroe Island. They had 187 cases and the 187 cases were cured. Let's leave the population does not matter. In what we are dealing with here is the number of people that had it and the number of people that were cured, as against Madagascar that had a similar number and only half have been cured. Stop digressing, deal with the issue at hand. I hope you heard me.
I hope so too.
You are telling me about the population of
Anyway, so
Faroe
the number
Island
eight.
in regards to what? They had 187 cases. Exactly the same number. Madagascar just had new cases in the last 2 days. So, any more messages, calls?
Absolutely. Hello.
Yes, this is a clear call.
Mm-hmm.
I can
Good
hear
evening.
him.
Yes. Good evening. What's your name?
Calling from where?
All right. Okay, Manuel. 33 town.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, Oga Emmanuel. How you doing? I can hear
Yes,
him.
we
He should
can.
go ahead. I can hear him.
Go on.
Bros, you don't wake up. You be correct guy. You be correct guy. I owe you a drink. Tell him I owe him a drink.
You owe him what?
Tell him I owe him a drink.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much too, sir. Wonderful, wonderful contribution. Um, yes, of all Bibles in the world, the most heretic is King James. This is not a scripture show. I will have gone in hard. I will show you errors, back to back errors, where King James called Joshua Jesus. where King James put in the word Easter that never occurred in any other Bible translation, and then quickly removed it in the New King James when they saw that he put nonsense. You know, King James called Satan Lucifer. No other version ever used that word again, because Lucifer means the bringer of light, and you can't call Satan that. It is ridiculous to, and that changed the whole complexion of Christianity. And meanwhile, we're taking his Bible is the most popular Bible in Nigeria. They will fight you if you dare tell them that there are stories on the BBC's website about King James being homosexual and King James having a boyfriend called George Villiers. Is there. This is available evidence with many love letters between King James and George Villiers. And I wonder how come our clergymen don't know this or choose to look away. He was the one that translated this Bible that tend to make royalty anointed by God. He had that. You see, a lot of people say King James did not translate it. He did not translate it, but he directed the translation. It was under his orders. So I do not believe that a man that sold my great-grandfather can give me a book to teach me how to fish. He can give me a book to teach me how to make bags or shoes, or how to make a bar and soup. He cannot teach me how to be free because he didn't want my ancestors to be free. If he wanted them to be free, the Royal African Company will not generate 40% of its profits from slave trade. And this was a company that King James himself gave the patent to. So we've got to be very careful. We are holding on to Bill Gates and shouting we don't trust Bill Gates, but you trust King James. Shame on you. Hypocrisy at the worst form or level. So, more calls, or should I bring someone from social media?
Let's take a call first.
Okay, fantastic.
Hello. Please turn the radio set.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Just hold on a second. It's connecting
Okay,
you.
sir.
NLT is the best translation so far. New Living Translation, followed by NIV. They're okay. Hold on 1 second. Good evening.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hold on a second. We're still on the calls. So just hang on a second. I'll bring you in after this.
Into what? Okay.
Wow.
Hello?
The last guy who called was quite clear compared to these other ones.
Yes. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Hello.
All right, we've got a guy here on social media. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Good evening, Lady Priest. Good evening, Ada.
All right, Ada,
Yeah.
there's a gentleman here. Please tell us what your name is.
Yeah, I've been listening to your show on Call FM, The Sanctuary.
Okay.
Yeah, it has really educated me more, and I've done my own research also, and
Okay.
and that will prove it. You are like, it's also true. And sometimes I do listen to because I've been forced to go to church also, because so I have to lose because I'm still under my parents' roof also. So you have to still be.
You are still under your parents' roof. Better be careful. Don't let them come and bust you inside that room. And you get into real trouble.
No, not at all, not at all.
All right, so tell us what your
About the
contribution is.
Madagascar issue, I think, yeah, they're having decent recovery rate for I feel like in the federal government look into Nigerian zone. There's a prof that said he has it also. I read it on an article or the news on a newspaper that this prof, I think he wants to he's trying to look for a vaccine also, a professor also.
Professor Iwu.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Why are we not supporting him? Why are we not supporting him?
Yeah, that's it. And also, you said about that Vietnam and Cambodia, they have higher recovery rates
than Madagascar. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, I don't understand. Like, fine, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, they're having good recovery rate, but this is.
Okay. Absolutely nice caller. They have recovery rates. You see, one of the reasons why, let me break you guys' hearts. One of the reasons why we don't have much research here is once again based on religion, because religion tells you get your healing by faith. So they can't be preaching healing by faith and then at the same time be trying to get you drugs. Ada, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So it's either they preach faith healing or they preach go get medication. So most religions, especially the faith healing religions, do not subscribe publicly to medication. They'll tell you God is your healer, God is going to heal you, God is the greatest doctor, God is going to do this, God is going to do that. And at the end of the day, you will find out that you are shortchanged because God, more than healing and anything else, gave you a brain that He wants you to use. He wants you to develop that brain so you can proffer solutions. When God told Adam to name the animals, a lot of us just think that it is just to name them. He was given the brain power to categorize them. It was through the naming that we can now come up and realize that we have the feline family and we have the canine family. We can now categorize animals into amphibians and reptiles and birds and all that. So we were also given a task, not just a God ordained anointing to just go into the world and just through the world and then come out and expect to be successful. Now, someone said here that NIV is a wrong version. It has missing verses. It doesn't have missing verses. What the King James did was he repeated certain verses that didn't need repetition. And over the years, let me break your heart, there is no original of any of the books of the Bible. We just have copies of copies of copies of copies of copies. Now, some copies are more accurate than others. A lot of theologians and researchers have investigated many of the copies we have and have found some copies to be more accurate than others. The King James Bible was based on the least accurate biblical books. And that is the least accurate copies of copies of copies that we have. Hence, it seems, for instance, if you look at the book of Matthew 23, there is 14 in King James, but you don't have Matthew 23:14 in NIV or NLT. Because that was actually an addition in one of the less accurate copies of the original scriptures. So I hope I've answered that question. Ada, phone calls. Is there anybody who wants to join us online?
Okay, let's take a call before that. Hello. Yes, good evening.
Please tell him to speak up.
Muhammad, can you speak up? I've been trying to reach you, by the way. Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
About this COVID-19 set of impact and yeah, I'm not going to serious. We are there, we are not serious at all. We are not serious. Let me give you one example. People are traveling from Kano to Lagos from different states. Why is there a lockdown? How will these people take space for those motor from Kano to Lagos from Lagos to Kano? What happened? Where are we? The shark. I don't know. It is very terrifying to look at this way. People are traveling from place to place. And if you could have a somebody travel from Korea to and then you for the COVID-19. How many people will be contagious in Canada? And when you go from his own resident over, I think that's very good to say in the operation. That's the do you understand me? Can you hear me? Yes, we can. The truth is very important. We are not serious at all. And that is very in some line. Let me just talk about the master. I'm not that it's only set off with pure water, auto water, and all that things. They are not doing. Our government is not taking serious contamination in Nigeria. It is wrong. The government is not, as in, this is a unit of NAFTA, they are only only to raise some food for the government and the unit. There's nothing they're doing about it. Has been serious risk reported to Nigeria, which is dangerous to our children. Our children are getting more able to, but the drugs, but they have been putting drugs directly with them. That's really frustration. I have witnesses of so many that are bringing to madness, being so much lunatic, some people are just, they are just working years of years and within some kind of 1 year or 2 years, working on the same cycle. So where are the work of those unfortunate events in Nigeria to control the trafficking of drugs in Nigeria? We can't do anything because people are just giving it for making money and people are dying. People are dying. They are becoming ignorant. They come work anything. Nobody cannot work 3 hours without paying drugs. So we are dying. Exactly. And people keep on dying because this COVID-19 is a real thing. And that is not talk about the capacity and the and all of it. It is true. We should have systems of that Harvard notes. And one that testing drugs, any drug that studies drugs has a negative effect. So, has a negative. It's really bad. Really look at it. That's our effect. That effect. So, if you want to test any drugs, well, which is very good. It may bring another difference to that not knowing my life. So the thing is saying we have to our investigation should be serious about researching what the growth in this country. We need to be serious about it. We have to put it on ourselves. We don't have to relax on it. Not that wake up and get up and just be serious about it. Let me tell you. Because now I'm not going anywhere. I will say I was also about it because I will go out to one. Could you hear me? Yeah. Go and get something out. And nobody even $1. And out of and cashless. Nothing is in the pocket. You understand me? So I will be here and I don't want to take a lap in my life. I don't want to wait. So if we can't do that, most people are saying that they're healthy. I was the special officer. He had what you say. I become health officer, PhD assistant, healthcare. So for my own image, I'm the assistant head of the center. I was the assistant head of the center. Now I resign. I have my own but I believe in that science research because I want a science student.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
that is from effort. And anybody who will go against that, we lack, it's not transparent. It's not transparent.
Hmm.
And the top, your number, your number now is hidden. I've been trying to call you. I even sent you a message, but it has not delivered. I don't know. Maybe you can. I will be following you. No problem. No problem. Do want to call in during that time so I can get your number, okay? All right. Thank you. It's okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Um, an awful lot was said, and I appreciate his insight. It seems you know him, Ada.
I don't know him in person, but he's an
Why is this
absolute.
smile? Am I missing something?
You're not missing anything.
Okay. Oh. So anyway, I'm trying to see if we can hook someone up here. Let's have a conversation live. In the meantime, any more WhatsApp messages?
Of course. Okay. The problem with African herbs is just that the dosage and prescription of this native. Okay, I'll take it again. The problem with African herbs is just the dosage and prescription of the native. NAFDAC should study the Madagascar herb very well before giving it out for treatment.
Absolutely.
In BI. Okay. Daddy Freeze. King James, I translated.
What did he say?
King James, I translated the Bible. King James 2 was the slave trader. Get your facts right and stop telling lies just to sell your twisted ideas.
What did he say? Say. Let him say what he said again. Take that again. I missed it.
Daddy Freeze, King James. I think he's saying I translated the Bible, or King James 1 translated the Bible. King James 2, okay, was the slave trader. Get your facts right and stop telling lies just to sell your twisted ideas. To lecture you more, he didn't translate the Bible himself. It is called King James Version because he gave the order for the translation.
Is that not what we said? You see, this guy has always been an let me just calm down. Like, we don't know the difference between King James 1 and 2. Who was no. Anyway, no problem. We will continue the dissection of King James. I don't want to turn this show to King James show. So, okay, which of the King James was the homosexual? Which of them dated George Villiers? Which of them added unicorn to the Bible? Which of them misplaced Joshua for Jesus in Acts chapter 7, verse 45? Baba, go and sit down. All right, we've got somebody here on social media. Hey, what's up, bro?
Thank you.
So go ahead.
Well, I just called. I'm not very good at Bible, though.
No, today we're actually not. It's somebody that brought us into Bible, or somebody that doesn't know book that is now trying to flip it on me. We're actually talking about the Madagascar herbal solution, and a lot of us believe that yes, there might be lots of possibilities, but one, it needs to be properly tested. Two, Nigeria is
Okay.
has a population of 200 million. Where are our own remedies? Where are our own vaccines? What happened to 200 million people in that regard? Three, Cambodia, Vietnam, and the Faroe Island have had higher success rates in treating COVID 19. Why are we ignoring their formula? Faroe Island has a 100% recovery rate. Cambodia has about 98.5%. Vietnam has about 75%. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Madagascar only has about 50 to 51% success rate, a little less than 51%, 50 and some fractions. So, why are we neglecting all these other ones and holding on only to Madagascar? We should have a more holistic look to both the treatment, the vaccine, and the therapy involved with treating COVID 19, is what I believe in. But what's your take?
Um, I do believe we should actually go for the vaccine, and we should also go for the Madagascar one as well, just for the treatment for now. But obviously, we need the vaccine to prevent future
Amen.
disease. That makes sense.
Absolutely.
I mean, that
Absolutely.
makes sense. But before we take on to the vaccine, we need to have this tested. I don't know how we're gonna, because well, we need to have it verified.
We need to have it
We need to have
verified.
source
We
that
need
we
to
can
put
trust.
WHO on their toes. We need to let them know that there's no hanky panky. We need to have
Mm-hmm.
proper verifiable testing. Nobody's going to bribe it. Because let me tell you something, this is a $1 billion industry. Whatever pharmaceutical company
Okay.
gets the patent for the vaccine or gets the right to produce the vaccine, we're looking at billions of dollars. Hey, it's a service. I'm paying for this internet I'm using. The electricity in my house, the
Yeah.
reason why I'm not in darkness is because I'm
Must
paying
be.
through my nose for my electricity. So if somebody does come out and create a vaccine, they have the right to earn money from it. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's business. Even the religious houses make money from your attendance. So there's nothing wrong. However, let them not bribe to push their product forward without proper testing. Just so that we saw what happened with the Boeing 737 Max. Pilots
Yeah.
were not briefed properly. So there were two crashes. It was more like they were in a hurry to release the planes because a lot of companies had placed orders. Right now they're stuck, they're in trouble with that particular airplane. Let's not see that scenario happen in the pharmaceutical world. Whoever is going to get the patent for the vaccine must have the vaccine properly scrutinized. When WHO finishes, NAFDAC too will look into it. But let's be careful that we don't look into these or scrutinize because we have vested interest.
I also think we shouldn't also rush it, because
Yep.
I'm considering the fact that we don't have that much death rate in Nigeria. In the UK, where I'm based, we have about 31 to 33, if I'm not mistaken.
About
And
33 now.
yeah, so in America, over a million, as you know as well. Um, I think we should actually watch what's going on and take our time as well. You understand? Because for some reason, Africa has been blessed with regards to this incident. So we don't actually need to rush it and go through the verification, testing it, trying it on different sources and everything. I mean, we shouldn't be used as an scapegoat for trials of these sort of things, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Makes a lot of sense. Thanks for your call and do have yourself a blessed evening. And remember to join
no
us
worries.
live
Thank you.
on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Bless you,
Thank
bro.
you. Bless.
All right. Great contributions we've got today. So Ada, more text messages.
Yes, please. trade, master of none. The money they paid you will soon expire. Keep on promoting your own vaccine. Good evening to you and Ada. Jacob from Ikeja.
Jacob, there's a word for your breed. They call it dingbat. When they say person a better dingbat, now so you be. I have collected money. You see, my problem with the people who are collecting money from you and selling you people religion, you have not held their trouser. It is somebody that made his money from Microsoft. Whether you like it or not, I just bought an HP laptop yesterday for the kids. It's Microsoft running turned it on, it was running Microsoft. How is Bill Gates not going to be rich? You think he made his money through vaccine? Come on, guys. There's a level beyond which we need to, how do you put it? We need to outgrow some certain types of thinking. So because I do not agree with you, automatically now I'm Mr. Know-it-all. Okay, vaccine is bad. Let me just join people. Do you know, I was having a conversation with my sister. Do you know my sister is an economist? Ada, are you listening?
Yeah.
And they use the Bill Gates formula for tracking, because Bill Gates has worked so much with pandemics and not pandemics, with communicable diseases and all that, they actually have an algorithm. The Bill Gates Foundation has an algorithm for extracting transmission rates for endemic and epidemic diseases generated from data used in the eradication of polio in Nigeria as well as Ebola. Now, these network models are used worldwide. And the more an organization knows about epidemic diseases and infectious diseases, the more data they have. And the more data they have, the better the predictive power of their models. So international organizations that have done a lot of work in infectious diseases in Africa can be very helpful in things like contact tracing, as well as providing new technology we need to eradicate these illnesses. So Bill Gates looks like a prophet because he worked. By the time you've vaccinated how many million people, you will have an idea. You will have facts at your fingertips. And once you see something go up, you will be able to call someone and say, look, it looks like the numbers are funny here. You will almost become a prophet simply because you've worked. There's a certain level of know-how you have. Do you know people who understand, who have studied the weather and understand the weather well, can almost tell you, can pinpoint exactly when the next hurricane is going to hit. They can tell you when a volcano that has remained dormant for 100 years will erupt. It's studying. We don't study. If there's anything we're going to learn from COVID-19 is to reduce our prayer time and increase our research time, increase our reading time. So we will not sound like, what's the bro's name again? Ada?
What's that name? Yeah.
What's his name?
Oh, where's the message?
So we don't end up sounding like him. Bill Gates has developed a working algorithm because of the somebody said Jacob. Online people.
Yeah.
Online people have been listening. So you don't end up sounding like Jacob. You are sitting in your house, typing on your phone with broken screen that you have used anger to break the screen protector simply because you want to send Daddy Freeze a message.
Yeah, Jacob from Ikeja.
They reminded me from here. They say it's Jacob. Meanwhile, the Bill Gates you are fighting has a working algorithm that the whole world uses. Why do you think they're calling him everywhere? You think they're calling him because he's rich? Let me tell you something here. With regards to Christianity, do you know how many meals I get every day? When there was a gathering in Abuja for world leaders in Christianity, I was invited. Sometime last year. I couldn't attend because of so I was there is do you know how many people have come to look for me from the US, from Paris to hear my views on religion? By the time you come out with a solution and you challenge what you have as the ideas, and then all of a sudden, what you are saying is tallying with history, is tallying with the same scriptures they are using. Do you think you will not become an authority? Someone was asking me, is Bill Gates a doctor? Is he an engineer? He dropped out of school. He worked on some, there's no way you will work on something for 10 years and not be able to at least be able to contribute to it. If that is he's working on eradicating polio. He's working on eradicating malaria. He's working on so many things across the world. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Then all of a sudden, COVID-19 comes. When you've been doing something with a good success rate for a long period of time, of course you'll be invited. So it now looks like you've bribed them. You haven't bribed anybody. Somebody said it takes approximately 10,000 hours to be good at something. Put in the work. Put in the work. There's a professor of Pentecostalism that came to look for me. This professor lectures in, I think, in Penn and formerly in Harvard, if I get it right. She came to look for me and we sat down and we had a discussion on Pentecostalism. I actually recorded a video of it. There's so many people who I've sat down with and had. It's because I'm able to look at this, explain it. They can't explain it. I now explain it. Automatically, when issues of religion come up, my view will always be sought after, whether you like it or not. It's not because I'm jack of all trades. It's because I have spent a lot of time studying, putting the work. And of course, the revelation too is there, because without the revelation, you just be working and working and working. So that's why they say prayer is in the revelation equation. Work is in the success equation. You guys write that down somewhere. It's very important. So, Ada?
Yes. Yes, please.
Yes, more messages. I know Jacob is going to be writing a rebound now. He'll have Kukuma broken his screen protector, typing furiously. His battery will run down now. Quickly go and look for a charger.
Good evening, Daddy Freeze. Our leaders are our problems. And there are remedies reported by some people and organizations like Pax Herbal at Edo State, Dr. Iwu, not forgetting Dr. Abalaka for HIV and all. Our leaders have no regard for anything made in Nigeria. Ben from Maputo.
Because our leaders know what they did. It's like our leader. Imagine you are a leader in the health industry, and then you are now told to use your own hospital. You don't go fear. Fear go catch you now.
Please give us the right Bible to read, or which do you think is more accurate?
I would tell you to use NLT or NIV. Even though those are the ones the King James people are fighting against, they are actually 100 times. I have compared the New Living Translation to the original Greek manuscript, or the copy of the original Greek manuscript, and it has come out the closest match. The absolute closest match is the New Living Translation, followed closely by the New International Version. So what I'll advise you is get a copy of the Greek Bible. I'm sure it's available online. Get a copy of the Latin Vulgate and compare. Nigerians need to learn the art of comparison. We shouldn't just take anything hook, line, and sinker. The best Bible in the whole world is the original Greek translation, a copy of it. In the original language, the New Testament was written. The New Testament was written in Greek, while the Old Testament was written largely in Hebrew and partly in Aramaic. So if you can get hold of those books, you would have original, you'll have the original meanings. Like I always tell people, if you read 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 19 in the Greek Bible, Peter used the word phosphorus to describe Christ in the original Greek Bible. When Jerome was translating the Latin Vulgate, in that same verse, 2 Peter chapter 1 and 19, Jerome used the word Lucifer. Christ was described by Peter as Lucifer. It's there. Just Google the Latin Vulgate and put in the verses. You'll see it there. And Lucifer and phosphorus are 100% the exact meaning, like Ade and Corona. Corona means crown, Ade means crown. It's right there. But a lot of the translations that came afterwards missed it and messed it all up. That's why you'll be having translations like Morning Star and stuff like that for the word phosphorus. The word phosphorus means light bringer, phos, light, pherein, bringer in Greek, Lucy, light, fer, bringer in Latin. So these are the things that once you start going deeper into original languages, you will start seeing errors. And then by the time you spend a month doing deep research on scriptures, you throw away King James. You throw it far away. You don't even want to see it again in your life. If one day I asked for a Bible, somebody gave me King James. As soon as it touched my, if you see the way I threw the thing out of the window, I say, yeah, don't let me touch that slave book. He gave me a translation that was not authorized by the people that thought it would be good for us to grace a plantation. So, I think we should round off now. Abiada?
Absolutely.
This your nose mask is nice, so I didn't even see it since. Which designer is it?
Thank you. Okay. Big shout out to the company. They gave it to me.
Which company? Our company.
We're entitled to 3. Yes, yeah.
But does this cloth one, does it work? It's fine, no?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
The whole thing is just to prevent the droplets from, going out from people's droplets touching your mouth and nose as well. So basically,
Absolutely.
Just to washing it and reusing it. But with the thing, they give us 3 every week.
Wow, that's good. So every week you get 3 and then you dispose of them. Then the next week you get another 3.
Yeah.
Big shout out to 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Okay, Daddy Freeze, with just 3 more minutes left to the top of the hour 12. Can we get your parting words so the chat session can start?
All right. Beautiful and wonderful people. Thank you so much. Here's my final take. Whether it's Madagascar, whether it's vaccine, whether it's anything else, it just shows that we are lazy youths in this country. Our president was right when he said it, and we all fought him. Should we be looking to Madagascar? Should we be looking to Bill Gates? Should we be looking to any other country in the world? At this stage, little Madagascar is coming with their own solution. So many countries are working this thing out. Okay, you guys want to have a vaccine, no problem. Whenever you are ready, call us. In the meantime, our country is called Cambodia. We're going to sort this. Our country is called Faroe Island. We're going to sort this. Our country is called Vietnam. We're going to tackle this. Our country is called Madagascar. We're on it. We have a herbal remedy. What happened to Nigeria? What happened to Nigeria? If we do not learn a lesson from this pandemic, it means we are doomed. The lesson is we played too much, We partied too much and we prayed too much. The time to work is now. Prayer is in the revelation equation, but work is in the success equation. There is no prayer in the success equation. Prayer is in the revelation equation. We need to understand these and we need to put in the work, because faith without works, even the scriptures say, is useless. God bless you, Ada. And I do wish Nigeria becomes that beautiful giant of Africa once again. I wish we can curb and clip the devastating wings of religion and tribalism and sentiment and emotion and politics and stealing and all the things that have crippled this amazing giant. And let Nigeria rise again, rise above all what the oppressors in and out have tried to make it. God bless you all.
All right. God bless you too, Daddy Free. Thank you so much. It's been an awesome show, and I can't wait for tomorrow's episode.
They are going to bash me and you, Jacob and Co. Is that the same Jacob that works with Bobrisky? I'm just asking.
I have my face mask, so they're not going to recognize me out there.
Bye, Ada.
It's all right. Thank you so much. Bye. That was live at Dangerous with Daddy Free to end right now. The chat station starts officially.
Let our giant in Nigeria not end in population. Let our giant in Nigeria not end because we have the biggest prayer houses in Africa. As a matter of fact, in the world. Let our giant in Africa, I think I need to make this a sermon. Maybe I'm going to do this for this Sunday. Rise, giant. Rise. Get up. You're a giant. Nigeria has been crippled for too long with the emotions of tribalism and religion, and with looting and crippling of our economy and resources. We're the giant when it comes to population. All we know how to do is procreate. Instead of production, we engage more in reproduction. The time is now. But until we get up and stop twerking and start working, we will continue being the slaves of Madagascar. Little Madagascar. Are we not even ashamed? Madagascar, the size of Lagos, is giving Nigeria herbal remedy. What happened to our own babalawos? What happened to all our babalawos? They cannot come up with solution. At least, we don't know now, see? Solution no dey church. God bless you all.